But Jeff Goodman, there are 2-0 teams in Big Ten play, 2 of them. And they both come from the state of Michigan. The Michigan State Spartans, the Michigan Wolverines. I got to have you do it here. You can buy stock in one of these 2 teams.
Oof.
Who are you taking and why right now?
I'm going to take Michigan. I like their roster better. I like their roster better. Obviously, I get Tom Izzo, a Hall of Famer, coaches Michigan State. But after watching them in person earlier this season, I just don't think that roster can make a deep run, whether it's in the Big Ten, whether it's in the NCAA tournament. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, they beat the living crap out of Nebraska tonight. I mean, they destroyed them. They destroyed them in the glass. It was like a vintage Tom Izzo team. I like the way this Michigan team is put together for the most part. Still, I want to see more of Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf together defensively, but they've been downright unstoppable the last 3 games. And 2 of the 3 were really good wins, obviously, against Xavier and Wisconsin.
McCall.
I'm going Michigan. And to me, it's, at this point in time, it's not even really close. Like Danny Wolf's out there looking like a point guard, like with the ball in his hands, bringing the ball down the floor at the power forward spot. And you look at the 2 Big Ten teams that they've played. Going into the first Big Ten game, Wisconsin was undefeated. They're a top 25 team. And Michigan goes in there and basically shuts that offense down. I mean, it was one of the most efficient offenses in the entire country going into that game. The Wisconsin, they were averaging 83 points per game. I think they were, top 10 in the country in offensive efficiency going into that game. And Michigan, they shut them down and held them in the 60s. So, for me, it's just that. I would never count out Tom Izzo. I've gone on the field of 68 a gazillion times when, Michigan State has lost 2 games in a row and, oh my gosh, it's the end and what's going on. But right now you're lining these 2 teams up at this point in time in the season. I think it's really impressive what Dusty May is doing, turning that program around. I mean, they've missed the last 2 NCAA tournaments, and playing those 2 bigs together, I was skeptical about it. I'm like, how's this going to work? How's this going to work on the offensive end of the floor? When you look at how Dusty's teams played at FAU, it was all floor spacing. You had Vlad Golden that was on the inside, but everybody else was spacing the floor. And this guy, Danny Wolf, if you haven't seen him, you need to turn the TV on because he's fun to watch.
Yeah, he is. And you think about Michigan. Today they win 85-83 over Iowa. In this game, Vlad Golden goes for 20 and 11. Danny Wolf goes for 13 and 14. And against Wisconsin, they combined for over 40 in that game and 20 rebounds. And you think about this too, Jeff. In the last 2 games, Michigan's won these games over Wisconsin and Iowa. They've shot a combined 10 for 45 from 3 in the process. That's terrible from 3. But they've still found ways to win. Just imagine, Jeff, what happens when the guards start to get in sync. I think more than anything, Jeff, there were some skeptics about the Dusty May hire. What say you?
One Jeff Borzello. Let's call him out for who he is, right?
Wow.
He wasn't alone. Let's be honest. And Borzello, he thinks highly of Dusty May. Just not as highly as I do, not as highly as Matt McCall does. He was a little skeptical of the move to Michigan. Listen, there is still some skepticism about their perimeter shooting. Let's be honest, right? They play those 2 bigs. Trey Donaldson's not a great shooter. Roddy Gale's a little bit streaky. So they're going to go through those nights. And again, I'm not sold like Wisconsin was as good as what they were doing earlier this season. Still a nice win, obviously. Anytime you can win in Madison,
at the Kohl
it's a hell of a win. And you beat Iowa today. Again, I'm not sure how good the Hawkeyes are, but a win is a win in league play. We know Matt McCall's, his mantra, winning is hard. And it is in league play especially. So good start. You turn back the clock to a year ago right now. We were talking about, a fight between the strength coach and Juwan Howard, potentially. And now you're talking about winning.